What do I look like, me lad? See that? The buckles on me shoes? Why, I'm a leprechaun.
Welcome back to. I'm making sure that everything is right. Welcome back to the worst fantasy football show ever, quite possibly the worst television show ever. As usual, I'm joined on the phone by my main man, Ryan, from Argentina. Hello.
Hello, hello.
I don't know if you were able to pick up on that or not, but this week, instead of pretending that we had music for the opening or whatever, I played your leprechaun quote.
I did hear it.
And it's basically a little shout out to you. You are first place in one of the leagues that we're dealing with on this show regularly. And you are third place, I think, in the other league. So
It made some moves up.
Indeed. So did you want to start off with breaking news, or how did you want to go about all this?
Yeah, I figured it's in our Dynasty League.
Okay.
And there's a big trade that's getting ready to potentially be approved.
Really? In the Dynasty League?
There is.
I just sent one to somebody like 15, 20 minutes ago.
It doesn't involve you.
I was like, there's no way that he accepted that trade.
So, red and yellow. Well, I guess let's start with the biggest player. Yeah, red and yellow is giving up Tom Brady and Fred Jackson
Gosh.
and a 2013 third.
What's that?
That was a noise that shouldn't have happened. For Marshawn Lynch, Jacquizz Rodgers, Vic Ballard, Brandon Gibson, and Mark Sanchez. And so it's basically Tom Brady and Fred Jackson for Marshawn Lynch and a pile of potential.
I'm kind of making a fishy face on this one.
Yeah, no, I agree that when I look at it at first, I'm not.
I mean, I get numbers adding up and stuff like that. Who else? So, who's giving up Tom Brady?
Tom Brady is Jamie red and yellow.
Red and yellow. Okay, so I need to see what else he has.
He has Matt Schaub now as his
and
quarterback.
Nick Foles. And he's getting Mark Sanchez.
Yep.
And then he's getting 3 running backs.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
hey,
Lynch,
you never know. But
Lynch, Rodgers, Ballard. And he has Donald Brown, so it's kind of his handcuff there in Indy. Giving up an older for a running back for another older running back. It's one that's slightly younger, and getting Lynch back for Fred Jackson.
Well, I mean, I like Matt Schaub, okay, but, I mean, just this year he's put up 115 and Tom Brady's put up 194. Now, Matt Schaub has had a bye week, I think, but still, that's in our ungenerous type league. Huh, yeah, that's too bad, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's one of our guys, Reaper Crew, who little bit more, I think we both respect a little more.
He's the other end of it?
Yeah, he's the other end of it.
Oh, well, good for him.
He's getting a little better at the end of the trade with Brady.
I know I've already played him once this year, so hopefully I don't see him again.
And he had a ton of running backs.
And I guess, I mean, the fact that this is a Dynasty League changes everything for me, but the fact that Tom Brady is on bye next week may...
I think that factors
that's
a little bit.
That's a factor, but... Huh. Oh, well.
Yeah, I don't think it. I think it has a little bit of a stench to it, but I think it's enough to be passable. I mean, no collusion.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's passable. It's just, gosh, I would never do that.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, this was one of the guys that was given so much crap about.
Oh, that's right, about the most recent trade and the trade committee. All right, I'll have to remember that tonight whenever I'm writing anonymous comments on things online.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll definitely have to give a little shout out for that. So
let's see if he can take his medicine, I'd say.
Absolutely. All right, well, okay, that is breaking news. That's some good stuff right there. Moving on. to our regular stuff. Do you have other breaking news, or should I just move on?
That's what I got.
All right. Oh, well. Okay, so top performing quarterbacks, week 8. Matthew Stafford, that's not bad. There's our main man, Tom Brady. We were just talking about him. Peyton Manning had an awesome game. Matt Ryan excelled. Josh Freeman seems to be doing better in general. Alex Smith, number 6, had a great night last night. Roethlisberger, Romo is on this list. I don't care. Russell Wilson, Drew Brees. That's the top 10 from last week. You've got Roethlisberger still as a bench player. Is that correct?
That is correct. I had Breeze over Roethlisberger.
That's right. Because you've got a great. I mean, he's the greatest, or I shouldn't say the greatest, but he is a fantastic bench player. For sure.
Yes.
Bench quarterback.
I would say your main man, Tony Romo, is now the second best bench because he'll be the one sitting behind Brady and Reaper Crew.
I just hate using the word Romo and best in the same sentence unless we're talking about like Romo is intercepted by Javid Best or something like that. But yeah, I know what you're saying. I actually like Roethlisberger. Running backs. Last week, Doug Martin had that ginormous game on Thursday night. Then it was LaShawn McCoy, Matt Forte, Willis McGahee, Trent Richardson, Stephen Ridley, Darren Sproles, Marshawn Lynch, Darren McFadden, Ronnie Brown rounds out the top 10 for Week 8. You know, right before we went on our hiatus, I was prepared to do a segment on the show where we basically just said that you were right all across the board as far as Trent Richardson versus Doug Martin. Meaning that Trent Richardson was heavily outweighing Doug Martin. But that's seemingly changing now. Not necessarily that Richardson's coming down, but that Martin is actually producing pretty well.
We'll see how the Carl Nicks injury affects that.
Yes, absolutely. But it wasn't Seattle that they played.
Minnesota.
Minnesota, right. Who has a very respectable D, so it was sort of impressive. Wide receivers last week, Week 8, Titus Young. My opponent had him. Demaryius Thomas, Michael Crabtree, Julio Jones, Austin Miles, Percy Harvin, Eric Decker, Denarius Moore, Cecil Shorts, Brandon Marshall, top 10.
So I'd like to just take a point to point out, even though I did win, and it wasn't an impressive win, but a win's a win, I chose the wrong quarterback, I chose the wrong running back, and the wrong receiver in all this. And I had both Roethlisberger, Richardson, and Crabtree as bench players.
Week 8?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Win's a win.
Oh, yeah, last night was Week 8 still. I'm confusing myself. I got to say, the whole in Bad Boys, the guy that benched Crabtree.
Yeah, I think we'll need to discuss that.
That was horrible. I mean, I don't agree with that on any level. On any level. And it's weak sauce. That's a kid move as far as I'm concerned. What are you going to do? I thought that was so dumb. Tight ends, Gronk, Witten, Graham. That's awesome. Miller, Pettigrew, Keller, Miller, Zach, John Phillips, Dwayne Allen. The tight ends are just not getting it done this year. I think that's a big thing. Anytime John Phillips is number 9 on the list. I mean, he didn't have a great game.
But yeah, anytime Romo throws 60-some passes,
Yeah.
somebody's got to catch him.
Moeaki at 10, Kellen Davis 11, Logan Paulson at 12. Just saying, you know, Dallas Clark at 14, and I know he scored 11 points in our Liberal League, and probably 6 or 7 in the less generous one. John Phillips, what did he have? 3 catches? that's crazy. Crazy talk. Crazy talk. I don't know. All right. So Dynasty League. There you are, 6-2, number 1, over Gronk Stance Moves, who, by the way, has been up there the entire season for sure. Tough Actington Acton also 6-2. I'm down in 7th, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm in 7th at 4-4. I'm lucky to be there at this point. And then we see Reaper Crew and Red and Yellow Fever, who are the two next to last positions before last place. So they're just swapping out players that won't help them, I guess.
I do have to say, you've got the, we'll let you go first with your matchup, but you have to save yourself some embarrassment and not be the first loss to Bushwhackers, or first win for Bushwhackers.
Is that right? Is that what it would be? I guess I didn't realize. Yeah. Well, you know, oh, well, this is my last, okay, yeah. First, my loss this past week, which is 101-90, and actually was a lot closer than it looks here. It was actually going back and forth during the game last night. Because he had Larry Fitzgerald, Vernon Davis, and the 49ers going, and I had Andre Roberts. And Fitz wasn't doing it until the very end. And Vernon Davis only had those 2 catches. I think it was just 2. And then I was just praying for an Andre Roberts touchdown, which would have turned, I would have won, basically.
Yeah.
It would have hurt his defensive score enough and propelled my offensive score enough. So I was holding out hope for that one. Didn't get it. This week I'm up against the Bushwhackers. Oh, Bob Jr. is on that team. Oh yeah, I was looking at this. Yeah, I mean he's hoping for a lot. I mean I am too, quite honestly. But he's got Peyton Hillis starting. Then he does have the dynamic Doug Martin, Dwayne Bowe, Colston, Michael Jenkins in Minnesota, Brandon Stokely, Golden Tate, and Greg Olson. So you never know what's going to happen, but I'm not afraid of his team. I'm a little afraid of my team, though. I'm back to full strength at running backs with Forte and Rice. This will probably be the first week I don't start Bush. And I'll go with all my wide receivers. And I've got Jermaine Gresham back also. So we'll see. Nothing exciting here, that's for sure.
So at what point, and I certainly don't think you should yet or anything like that, do you think about not tanking but not going for it?
At no point for me, honestly. There's not a point for that. I wouldn't even know who to put in my lineup to replace those guys. Like, I have the best and the worst team I have available, basically. Unless I'm just going to put zeros in.
Right.
And start guys that aren't going to play. But, is that going to affect my draft order? Is that what you're saying? Or?
Yes.
And does it work opposite? Is that the reverse order?
Reverse order,
finish?
And it's not snake.
Oh, what? Okay.
It's like the same way the NFL draft does.
That's one round. Then what does the second round do?
And then in Bushwhackers would be the first pick in the second round as well.
Oh, so it remains reverse.
Right, all the way through.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I'm not interested in that.
I 100% agree with you. I think that you just go for it, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. Because honestly, I don't know. It's not that I don't know enough. Too many things happen in real football for you to almost be able to plan that. I don't know. I put up 90 points this week, and I was playing the best guys that I thought I had. So I am considering, and I need to be talked off the ledge on this one, Jay Cutler over Andrew Luck this week. Cutler is not at home, but he is against the Titans. And Andrew Luck plays Miami Dolphins.
I don't think I'm going to be able to talk you off the ledge on that. I think I'd go with Cutler.
I mean, it just seems like don't get cute here kind of thing. Or maybe I am being cute, actually. I don't know. Get cute. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. I got to get cute about it.
Miami's got a pretty good defense, but their pass defense has given up some yards.
Has it? Okay.
But I think that the pressure that they can bring, Luck's probably the best rookie that's ever come in as far as being able to handle and process things. But
Titans
I
terrible.
still think the Titans' defense is so terrible. Unless there's bad weather at Tennessee or something like that.
I mean, they're not even fantasy ownable. Like in our Dynasty League, where all but 3 defenses are owned. They're one of the 3 that aren't.
Right.
So that tells you something. So yeah, I'll have to figure that out Sunday morning, but that's where I'm at right now, unbelievably so. So yeah, looking at your Quitters Never Win matchup last week, you scored 2 more points than I did on the week, but you won. Looks like. Well, let's see what happened in this game. Denarius Moore, which I have in Bad Boys, I'm loving him right now.
Oh, yeah.
And he just, I don't know what. You got...
I had him and Cobb, and then
Yeah.
really some dud performances at running back with
You won by 7 points.
Charles and Bradshaw, and then kind of dud performances by tight ends with Rudolph and Gates, and some decent out of everybody else.
Yeah, and he just had the same kind of mediocre performances out of all his people, basically.
Yep.
Particularly Aaron Rodgers, just
Breeze.
Versus your Breeze kind of thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, just kind of got lucky.
This coming week, the Juggernaut, who I may have played in week 1, I think, and won. But he's got Matt Ryan at the Cowboys, or versus the Cowboys, I should say. Other dangerous people, not Pierre Thomas. Potentially Deshaun Jackson. Reggie Wayne, theoretically. Roddy White, plus Matt Ryan. And then the Dennis Pitta thing. Whereas Jamal at San Diego shouldn't be terrible.
It depends on if Romeo knows what is going on at the offense.
Well, it sounds like Matt Castle's got the nod, but whatever that means. Jeremy Maclin ought to be set up for a decent day.
Mm-hmm.
Denarius Moore, theoretically. I couldn't remember if Tampa Bay defense was any good.
They've been giving up pass yards.
Okay, but not necessarily run yards, right?
Right.
Then you got Torrey Smith at the Browns, who, they're on the road, so you never know what's going to happen with Flacco. I'm still wacko for him, but more Baltimore wacko than on the road wacko. And then Gates ought to do well, I would think.
Yeah, I feel okay about the matchup.
Yeah.
Cobb against Arizona.
Yeah.
So.
They've really fallen off. I don't know when the right time to talk about it is, but I do want to just say that Vic Ballard touchdown was sick.
I did not see it.
You still haven't seen the replay or anything?
No.
It was Andrew Luck's only touchdown pass of the day. It really helped me. Dude, it's probably one of the greatest touchdowns I've ever seen. No exaggeration. It's ridiculous, the athleticism and what he does with his body to get there. And then in an interview, they talked to him, and he said he had done it twice before, once in his junior year and senior year in college, but had never actually scored on it. He'd always been ruled out of bounds. So I would strongly encourage you to run right out and watch that. Actually, I would encourage you to stay seated and then Google it and watch it whenever we're done here. So I've probably overhyped it a little bit, but still. Okay, I just realized that I'm not sure when I turned the graphics off and was just looking at them on the preview monitor, and we've just been talking about this stuff while my face and your face are on the screen. Whatever. It's the worst TV show ever. What do you expect, people? Get off my back. Quit watching. I mean, you'd have to start watching to quit watching, but anyway. Coming up this week, Bad Boys League. As I said earlier, here are the standings. 5-3, third place. Looking good in that league. I'm in 9th place, which is a great improvement for me for this week, actually. I'll have to win out in order to do anything, probably.
Just watched the Victor Ballard touchdown. That was awesome.
That was awesome, right?
It was.
I mean, that's some pretty creative thinking, physically, I think. So, yeah, I was super impressed. Plus, it was at the end of the game. It was literally, was it overtime? I think it was overtime. It was an overtime game-winning touchdown catch, run, whatever you want to call it. So that was awesome.
Yeah.
So your matchup this past week was Heroes or Zeros. You won this one. Looks like 190. Oh, there's a letter. 196 maybe to 177. Early on in the week or in the matchup, I thought you were going to run away with this. I almost sent you a text like, "Oh, you got this under control," and blah blah blah. But you did have some good performances. Michael Vick showed up again, decently. Sidney Rice, LaShawn McCoy got 2 touchdowns, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Randall Cobb, you've got him again. That old guy. And the other guys had some good performances, but some people just let him down. Eli Manning in particular, because I was going against Eli in Dynasty.
Yeah, that was the killer, or one of the killers for him. I didn't have a great week, but he didn't, or he had a worse week, I should say.
Absolutely.
And nobody went really crazy for either team.
Yeah. And then let's see here. That leads us to week 9 coming up. You versus Job Distractions, which as I flip back, they are in 4th place. So they're the head of the 1, 2, 3, 4 teams that are 4 and 4. Wow.
Yeah, he's.
If you look at the projections, it looks ugly for you.
I do believe he has the best team right now. I think his team's the team that should win out, as far as the whole thing.
I don't remember if he won last week or not, but he started Jordy Nelson, who was injured.
Ooh.
I did notice that.
No, he lost to Tough Acton.
It had to have been close, though. Not real close, but anyway, yeah. But, yeah, he started Jordy Nelson. Probably didn't have somebody that could have made up the 20 points, but...
Actually, yes, if he had played Mike Williams, which is who probably would have played. Or, well, no, at that point he didn't know Jordy Nelson. It would have been Devon Beth, and so that would not have done it. So
Mike Williams is just about a must-play at this point. Don't you think?
What's that? I'm sorry?
Mike Williams is just about a must-start.
Yeah, I would say.
Until he proves otherwise, anyway.
I think that he'd almost be a better than flexing Felix Jones.
Is that what he's got right now?
That's what he did this last week.
Oh, okay. He's got Reggie Bush flexing this week against Indianapolis.
Oh, yeah. He's got the buzzsaw of running backs, Peterson, Bush, and Foster.
Yeah.
And his team's great.
It is. It's a great team. That being said, it's 4 and 4. I guess all his boys... Well, Adrian and Arian have both been on a bye once and that kind of thing. But yeah, he's got a great looking team.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Jordy Nelson's on the bench again.
My week 8, my matchup this past week was just a slaughter. I had my best week, bar none. And I even had one guy not produce at all for me. But, I had 4 guys in the 30s and 1 guy in the 50s, and that's what it takes. He just had average performances mostly. He did have a guy, he had Titus Young, put up 49, and Julio Jones 40. But he had Aaron Rodgers, who was somewhat lackluster.
Jamal Charles killed him.
Yeah, oh yeah. That was, is he out? Injured or something?
Nope, nothing wrong with him at all.
Wow. Because I could not figure it out.
Neither could Romeo.
That's what you were referring to earlier.
Yes.
My matchup this week features a Tom Brady-less Niner Fanatic team that I have to face off with.
The same Niner Fanatic team that doesn't have to worry about benching Crabtree to ensure a win this week, because he will be on bye too.
That's fantastic.
Yes, I hope you slaughter him.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have a quarterback, I don't think, which that'll be remedied soon. I'm in another league where I have Tom Brady this week, and I have to pick somebody up overnight. Yeah, he doesn't have anybody else to go to. I heard
you could always trade for Josh Freeman.
Yeah. I'm not buying into Freeman this week. I know everybody's excited about him. Hopefully, I guess that's what he'll do. I don't know who he's going to pick up in that league, but
yeah, no, I'm
won't
hoping
be Tom Brady.
I'm hoping you put it on Snooki.
Yeah, I'd like to. And let's revisit that Michael Crabtree thing. The guy comes into Monday Night Football with a 1 or 2 or 3-point lead.
2 points.
2-point lead. Has Michael Crabtree in his starting lineup, I presume, or would have started him.
Yes, did have him and benched him.
But benched him and left that spot open with no player in that spot, right?
Correct.
And his thought process was, it takes 1 reception and a fumble, and then he's lost.
I guess. I'm hoping for a stat correction so he loses.
Gosh, that's not in the spirit of the game or anything. You can run your team and do whatever you want to, however you want to do it. But I'm going to sit here and tell you what I think about it for sure. And that's dumb. I hated that.
Yep. I'm hoping for a stat correction, like I said.
That'd be awesome.
I think that would be... I would not let him live that down forever, especially since he talked about how, he's had some bad things happen. He didn't know, you never know what could happen. Well, I hope it does happen, punk.
Gosh, that's such a defeatist attitude. That's interesting.
By the way, he'll probably pick up your wacko for Flacco.
And let me be clear, too. I could at least engage in a conversation if we're talking about a kicker or a defense, maybe. I still wouldn't believe in all that stuff and do it, but I would consider it on a kicker, maybe.
Yep, I agree.
But not a position player like that. I just can't. I don't see it.
Especially a receiver where, in our PPR league, you're going to catch the ball and you're going to get a point.
Yeah, absolutely.
And whatever yards you would get.
Every time. So, yeah. And that's a generous yard league, too. And so, yeah, I disagree. So, all right, well, cool. Anything else exciting that we should talk about? It's only been like 4 days,
Right. No, I don't think there's too much else going on.
NBA started tonight, and I drafted 3 NBA fantasy teams yesterday.
3?
Yeah, I had 2, but at the last minute I got the itch. So, 3 separate leagues.
Well, weren't you the busy bee in the waiver wire pickups?
Oh, did I get them?
You got 2 people.
That's one of the hardest things I have is to not tell you about my waiver wire stuff. I did have a 3rd one, I thought, but maybe not.
Unless it was Donald Driver or Chris Cooley, you didn't get it in.
No, I didn't then. I didn't have another one. Yeah. So there you go. The whole LeGarrette Blount thing wasn't, he's just not doing it. And I didn't see a future in that necessarily, which I could be totally wrong about. I have no idea.
No, I like to roll in the dice over it.
But there was some talk about D'Angelo Williams possibly getting traded. And there's still another 2 days for that to happen. I don't think it's going to, based on what they're reporting, but you never know. And so I figured if they narrowed it down to just Jonathan Stewart, then Mike Tolbert becomes fantasy relevant again, the way he has been in the past.
I agree.
You know, and he'd be better than starting Michael Bush every week. So if he caught a pass, and then Brady Quinn, I didn't think I needed him anymore, and I've been liking Chaz Schillens ever since before he got injured out in Oakland. So why not? Victor Brown isn't coming back this month, so yeah. I guess I got a whole bunch of stuff going on in Bad Boys too, so that's what I'm thinking of.
All right.
So yeah, so there you go.
Well, I hope maybe you put in a block and pick up some Wacko for Flacco.
No, I didn't. I did not. I didn't even think about it. I see what you're saying. Just to block Richie.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't have any. I don't think I have the space to play around with that right now. Otherwise, I would for sure.
Drop your kicker.
I'd go pick up two. No, I need my kicker.
You can always pick him back up
Yeah, I know.
later in the week.
It's a good point. I mean, if I can I pick up a quarterback tonight and hold on to him long enough until I can get a kicker and he can't get that quarterback?
I think like Thursday or something like that, yeah. Or Friday morning. I think
Right.
you do Friday morning, you're good. And you can pick your quarterback up, or your kicker back up on Saturday.
Yeah, I may have to do that. So, all right, well, awesome then. I guess we're out. This will be just about a 30-minute show, like it should be.
For all those who care.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure
The millions and millions.
all the people that have watched any of our shows are the same people that have watched all of our, nobody's watched them. That's what I'm thinking. All right, rolling credits. Woo! Taking your picture off. Woo!
I am disappointed the people out at Hurricane Sandy won't be able to watch tonight.
Well,
They
that's
don't
why
have
we'll
power.
upload it to YouTube and they can watch it whenever they want to.
That's true.